Hello everyone, good evening. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us till the end. Honorable Knowledge Seeker, today I am your host for the evening. My name is Yarni Sato Chaudhary and I am from Bangladesh. Dear Knowledge Seeker, I am proud to be associated with IGP. IGP is a social and ISO certified international educational and training institute. In the last 3 years, we have already served 350 million knowledge seekers from 100 plus countries. IGP is internationally recognized and globally accredited. We are connected to more than 450 plus profession and 4,500 plus organizations. Institute of Global Professional IGP is the training faculty for skill development who just founded in 2020 and is generating competent candidates to meet demand in the global labor market by providing professional qualification. The Institute of Global Professional is an educational institute that provides social work globally recognized and reputable. We serve student and community resource providing holistic social work and education. We believe that it is not effective to increase one's skill just by acquiring formal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate proficient generation all over the world. We distribute our services locally, nationally, and internationally to students, job seekers, job holders, and also for learners through respective campus location and distance learning platforms. We are an occupational and dependable institution. IGP is one of the famous online institutes from all over the world. Our vision is education is not a business product, it's a part of our human rights. Based on our vision, we are trying to reach all corners of the world for free webinars, seminar, courses, awards, quiz competition, mentoring, and counseling aids. On the other side, we are also trying to offer more than 100 premium services for free like creating own portfolio website, resume builder, cover letter, motivation letter, and wall knowledge platform for gathering general knowledge which can update all day. Kids learning games website, free courses, computer sets, and many, many more. We have to empower you to learn to meet their expectation and dreams and become highly skilled people. We implement several trainings, programs, seminars, and offline online courses for youth and learners by professional trainers, speakers, and coaches. Our sessions are conducted by globally renowned professionals. We must have a genuine concern for the learners. We represent more diversity, growth, and innovation are required. To lead a session with professionalism, passion, and integrity, IGP members are committed to offering effective base quality service and continual improvement so that individuals who seek information can improve their skill levels and health. Before we move to the next, let me remind you don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friends in the comment box. Your support is very valuable to us. Thank you. I repeat, before we move to the next, let me remind you don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friends in the comment box. Your support is very valuable to us. Thank you. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, we have already completed our 1547 webinars successfully. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, participant and well-wisher at this moment, this is a very important message for you all. We changed and designed our website www.eduigp.com. On this website, we have surprise for everyone. Hope you will be benefited. First, we already launched our new website where you can find all our previous activities together with lots of new features. But one strong point is that without an account or logged in, you can't enjoy our services. So create your account for once with your profile information. Note that with your profile information, you will enjoy all future. With mismatched data, you cannot do anything. From now, you have to participate in live quiz competition on our website. We replace Slido. You have to join directly on our website. Now you can check all our previous webinars with verified e-certificates. Now it's easier and time oriented because after the session we will not provide you with any code for certification. You have to take part in one exam. After that, if you passed, you'll receive your certificate, otherwise not. But you can take part in an exam unlimited till you pass. If you are an IGP speaker, you can download all your previous certificates, speakership certificate. If you are a host of IGP, you can download your certificate of gratitude. If you are an online quiz competition winner, you can download your certificate of participation. If you are selected for a lifetime membership, then you can download a certificate of lifetime membership. Besides this, if you participate in any award function which organize combined support with IGP, you can download that also. You can instantly prepare and download 18 times of instant certificates from our website within a minute. Certificate of Global Professional Membership, Certificate of Global Influencer during the pandemic, Certificate of Active Knowledge Seekers, Certificate of Social Activities during the pandemic, Certificate of Achievement IGP Knowledge Seeking Campaign 2020, and Certificate of Achievement IGP Knowledge Seeking Campaign 2021, Certificate of Achievement IGP Knowledge Seeking Campaign 2020, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 1, Authentic Assessment in Teaching and Learning, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 2, Teaching English as a Foreign Language and Assessment, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 3, Digital Classroom Engagement Tools, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 4, The New Trends in Education, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 5, Upskilling Organizational Leadership and Managerial Skills, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 6, Trends and Innovation in Mathematics Education, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 7, Research and Comparison Approach, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 8, Art in Teaching a Special Program in the Arts. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 9, 21st Century Tools in the Teaching Mathematics, Certificate of IGP Corporate Ambassador, Certificate of IGP Campus Ambassador, which can prepare and download within a minute. From now on, you can participate in 1000 plus international level quizzes with verified certificate. Teaching tips for teachers, health tips for parents, health tips for teens, gamification tools for teachers. You can join IGP Alimony. You can check out our 50 plus services website for free and many more. Dear IGP well-wishers, we promised previously, but lack of technical issue, we are late sending you on time. This is a great opportunity to collect your previous criteria. We solved all issue from our website. Now you can enroll, reset password, everything. You can check your dashboard for all webinar details. It's a cordial request to you check all buttons and pages on our website. Surely I can say you will be benefited. Thank you. But note that without an account or login, you cannot enjoy our services. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, now at present we are going to start our 1548 and our today program name is Tips for Responding to Reviewers Comments. And today we have our speaker. Our speaker name is Sir Dr. Shavik Ganguly and he is from India. Before I Now it's very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with his presentation. Now it's very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with his presentation. Uh, Hello, sir.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir. How are you, sir?
Okay, okay. Kindly share the slide
Okay, okay.
and yes, please.
Wait.
Uh, Thank you, ma'am. And have to
Sir,
engage you also because I'm using a mobile
sir,
device.
sir,
So
one minute.
I'll tell you in between that to change the slides as well.
Okay, okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Oh, okay, fine. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all my listeners, all my participants, active participants of IGP, to this wonderful platform today. We have assembled over here to learn about something very interesting, something little bit weird to few people, but we had been doing this uh, thankless job for almost 3 to 4 years down the line, and we have been serving all the reputed journals, reviewing their articles. So we are conversant with what type of comments and what type of responses that we get from the authors, and based on which we will talk today about that how to respond to your reviewer comments. Some tips from my side, and of course it will not be an universal tip. It may be that some tips that you may also like to share in this particular platform of yours. Myself, Dr. Shovik Ganguly, I'm serving as an assistant professor in the Department of Electrical and Instrumentation Engineering at Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology, situated in the northern part of India, that is Patiala. Before we go into the slides and before we talk about the details of each of the points, let me share with you some of the views which I personally, as an author, feel that how to respond to the reviewers' comments. Say, for example, you have submitted a journal article or a manuscript to a particular journal, and you are looking for after 3 or 4 months, you may have received some comments from different reviewers. Mostly, our reputed journals or our esteemed journals are peer reviewed, so it is expected that either we have a blind review, single blind review, or a double blind review in each of the cases. So the reviewer or the author may not know you as a person. So of course he has given his comments, or he has deliberated upon some issues relating to your manuscript based on some based on what you have written in the manuscript. So of course, my first view, being an author, my first view will be to go through the comments again and again, repeatedly, minutely, because there are certain things which are hidden. Unless and until you give 3 or 4 times a reading to each and every comment, you won't be able to sometimes understand or relate what is the expectation of the reviewer. So this is the first step that we normally as an author do, that leave it aside of doing the comments immediately or doing it very in a quick process. Rather, it would be very much useful that you give a minute reading to each and every comment and try to disintegrate it. Another important thing when we go in for uh, uh, review comments is that we have to be very much courteous. We have to be very much professional in handling each and every comment. If you feel that we cannot uh, rather we cannot do it, or I should say that this is beyond the scope of your work, do approve it. Okay, do make a humble submission that this is beyond the scope of the work, courteously and professionally as well, so that the reviewer, your reviewer can understand, or your experts in that particular field can of course understand it. So this is also equally important. How much you can do and how much you cannot do, surrender at times in case it is beyond the scope of your work. Okay, sometimes you have done a simulation work, and your reviewer is expecting you to do an experimental analysis. So of course, if it is not doable, that is not justifiable for that particular work, of course do revert back immediately in a polite tone, in a courteous tone, in a professional tone as well. So these are the two most important. The third most important, another crucial thing that we may encounter, that how to write the comments, whether to use a tabular form or whether to write answers uh, corresponding to the comments. And preferably, if there are two reviewers or three reviewers, preferably you will answer each reviewer at a time. Okay, don't mix and match. And of course, there may be some comments which may be common, but still you try to address them separately, because each reviewer personally will try to check his or her own comment. So this is also equally important. There are two ways of doing the review, responding to reviewer comments by the authors. One way is give it in a tabular form. On one side is the comment from the reviewer, on other side is the response. In other column of your table, you provide the response that you want to write, and also give some supporting proof. Always it is a good habit to give the supporting proof there itself. Say for example, you have included a figure, or you have included a table as being instructed to you, or you have included some references as has been advised by the reviewers. You put it in quotes and also refer the comments. General comments that are, say for example, for non-native speaking people, general comments are with respect to English, improving the English, checking the grammar, checking each and every punctuation. So this is a common comment which normally reviewers normally give. So try to address each and every comment seriously, and everything that are there, that are suggestions are there. Or of course, you have to analyze your review critically and try to address almost each and every comment, unless and until it is doable. It is beyond your scope of work, or it is not that you sometimes reviewer, although they are experts in the field, but sometimes they are not able to judge your work, may not be able to judge your work. uh, um, uh, Sometimes it goes to non-experts as well of the field, and sometimes they have to do the review on the sake of the journal. So maybe they have not been able to understand thoroughly your work, or they may be having some queries about your work which you need to address thoroughly in a professional tone, in a polite tone, in a courteous manner. So these are some important tips that we go in for. So of course, peer review is a process that plays a very crucial role, that plays a critical role in maintaining the quality and integrity of a scholarly work. So of course, when you are submitting any manuscript for publications, they often we often receive, as authors, we often receive some feedback from the reviewers, and they may provide you some valuable suggestions. And get one thing for sure, that they want to they are doing the job voluntarily, so they want to give you some valuable insights about your paper. They want to give some critical comments about the paper, and it is for the benefit of your paper only, and it is for the benefit of benefit as well as the reputation of the journal as well. Ma'am, can you please move on to the next slide, please? So this is what we intend to have in our expectation from a particular author to address to each and every reviewer comments, and uh, get to the valuable insights about the paper. Madam, would you mind it's putting the next slide? So these are some of the tips that you would like to share on this platform, so that you get to know or get to address uh, your next time you are addressing some feedback which you have received from your reviewers, and how to courteously address it. Say for example, we had a serious 76 comment in our manuscript. It was almost felt that the paper would be rejected. So we tried to address each and every comment satisfactorily. Say for example, there were 5 reviewers in all, and each one has around 10 to 15 comments. So it has to be made separate, and a reviewer one should be preferably be looking into the comments or the responses of reviewer of the authors, but at the same time he may also look into the responses that has been prepared for the other reviewers as well. Sometimes it is a common notion that you had been advised to include some references, or sometimes they want the reviewers want you to include some latest references from the work, or latest literature, or literature must be updated. So these type of comments are there. Of course you must go through these type of comments very seriously. At the same time, one common expectation from the reviewer, that you must pinpoint or highlight the main work, or the novelty of, or the contribution of your work. So this is sometimes missing, or most of the times missing, in the original manuscript. So this is a common comment which we have been receiving throughout. Sometimes we do write it, but still they want it in some different form, or they want to make more elaboration on that particular thing. So first of all, if you are going through your manuscript, you must be very much attentive in preparing the abstract of your work, because normally it is the editorial board, or the associate editor, or the editor in chief, or even the reviewers must go through your abstract to get a feel of the paper, and then only the reviewers especially, they will further judge whether to review or not, whether they will agree to review, or whether they will decline to review. So this is also equally important as well. And of course you must write through. We have already in our previous webinars, we have covered this particular topic, but anyway, for the discussion sake, once it has been a point of discussion, let me once again share you my views about writing the abstract of your article, of your manuscript. The first point is to write the objective of your work specifically. Apart from that, we must also specify the methodology of the work, that how you have carried out your work. What is the methodology? Then of course you must understand that how to ma'am, hold on. How to deliver that particular work, or how what type of outcome do you have. And if possible, some quantitative figures must be specified. Say for example, you have developed x or y method, and you have been comparing with some z method, and you have been able to prove that there is an improvement of around 10 to 15% from the previously obtained results. So this kind of things must be reflected by what we say as the outcome. Then only your editorial team or your reviewers agree to review your work and move ahead. So of course, if your abstract is not up to the mark, then it has a chance of getting the desk rejection. So of course, you must also learn how to write an abstract, and how to you may follow some renowned authors, or you may follow some top cited researchers in this particular in your particular area of research, and see how they are writing their uh, abstract of the article. So of course, the writing skill must be there in you before we expect some reviewer comments or some constructive elements to further improve. If it is of not sufficient quality, and if the novelty of the work is missing, and of course it will be definitely be rejected. But sometimes even the rejections from the reviewers may also carry some a good impact on your research as well. Because if you take it constructively, and if you try to incorporate those changes, the paper will, or the manuscript will definitely be improved. So these sort of things you must learn in the process. Apart from that, apart from the abstract, the reviewers normally have the tendency to go into your background of work, your literature, your novelty of work, and how have you developed the problem statement. Because mostly they will not look into, or they will not question your results, okay, unless and until you are not presenting in an accurate and formal way. Or if you are not if you are missing out on anything, say for example, you have forgotten to mention the x and y axis of a figure, and it also some blurring of the figure is there, some tabular form of representation is missing from your manuscript. So these type of things they can hint of. But normally we do not expect too many questions from your result sections. Result sections will only contain questions if they require some points that has to be addressed. Specifically, the question centers around how you have developed your work, what is the background, what is how much literature you have put in, and whether your literature is up to date or not. So these type of questions are normally being verified, or normally being asked by your reviewers as a feedback. And of course, as I told you, normally they look in for the novelty of the work, and sometimes they may also check the contribution of the work, if, or test the contribution of the work if they are directly linked to that particular field of work. Unless and until they are directly linked with your field of work, they will not uh, enter or test into the novelty or the contribution of your research article. But mostly they will try to see how have you addressed a particular problem, whether that problem pertains to any industrial application, any societal benefit, or something of that sort, whether we have written correctly the assumptions that has been made, whether you have some at certain point of time trying to mention the drawback or the limitations of your work at all. So these type of things are there that has to be addressed thoroughly while you prepare your manuscript. At the same time, you must write your methodology of work. Say for example, if you are developing some new algorithm, if you are developing some new statistical method or something of that sort, definitely you must give a proper elaboration in your methodology section as well. So mostly your literature must be up to date. In the background section, they will definitely, the reviewers will definitely go in for some comments with respect to the reviewers. So say for example, whether you have used the appropriate references, whether you have used sufficient number of references, whether you have used up to date literature or not, that they will also verify. Sometimes they may ask you to refer if they want to make further amendments in your literature. They may further ask you to quote few papers which are of latest origin or latest reported literatures, or they may specifically want that some works has to be quoted in order to justify your novelty, in order to overcome the limitations of those work in your research. So, as I told you, you have to maintain a courteous tone, you have to maintain a professional tone while responding to the reviewer comments, because you have to give respect to the unknown reviewers as well, and be decent and do not be aggressive in your tone. Respond constructively and avoid becoming defensive as well. So, sometimes if the reviewer can be wrong at times, but you have to be very much polite, you have to be courteous, you have to be if you are disagreeing to the reviewer comments, definitely be polite, definitely be not be rude in addressing those reviewer comments. Sometimes it is not always that we do reviews genuinely in which we research actually. So sometimes it happens that the reviewer may not be having that knowledge or perception that you are following. Of course, you as the best judge of your work, but at the same time, you must acknowledge each and every comment and respond thoughtfully, respond, demonstrate your willingness to address each and every concerns that are being raised. So this is how we do uh, put some reviewer comments. Sometimes it happens that reviewers may be tricky enough to mention the methods rather than uh, the exact literature they wanted to compare. So, of course, some uh, uh, tricky ways of giving that compare so and so method with this particular method. So of course you have to go through that particular article, and of course there are certain time bounds that are given to address your reviewer comments. I received personally, I feel that I have received one reviewer comment or multiple reviewer comments in that case. I was given by the editor in chief to address those comments within 120 days. So, can you imagine? It was not accidental. It was not that the journal is giving so many amount of days individually to all the authors. It is due to the nature of the comments. So, comments were such that around 6 to 7 methods they have specified. The reviewers had specified me to make comparison and show that my method outperforms those particular methods. So naturally, whatever time has been given, and I can recall that I spent almost 3 months on those 7 articles, tried to uh, understand those methods, tried to develop the corresponding code to those methods, and after that we had been able to satisfactorily uh, answer all the queries, all the concerns that were raised by the respective reviewers. So this is one way of addressing. Don't think that the reviewer has given me 3 months. I'll do it in 15 days. I'll do it in 10 days and send you back. There is a specific time limit that is been allocated by the associate editor or by the editor in chief purposely. Seeing the reviewer comments, they get to know that this amount of time you have to devote in addressing all the comments. So never be uh, too hasty or too uh, that's why I told you that at least spend 2 3 days reading the comments only. Simply read the comments only, and don't get into the things that I have been able to address all the issues. Some things are sometimes always missing. So this we have experience, for which we experienced a major revision to a minor revision. So that's why I'm telling you, with my expertise for the last 4 or 5 years, which I had been addressing and I had been reviewing every year, almost 100 to 150 manuscripts we are reviewing, and at the same time we are submitting at least 20, 30 journal articles or conference articles in a year. So of course we can understand that what type of questions or what type of things that a reviewer want, and how much time do I need to devote on particularly answering to their queries as well. So this is what I need to say. But at the same time, you address each and every reviewer comment courteously, and making it a professional tone. Be respectful to the reviewers, and assuming that they are all domain experts, you try to convince and try to put in a such a tone that it is not very uh, rude as well. So these are the some of the things that you need to learn while you are addressing to the reviewer comments. So that is why we have assembled today to learn about some of the experiences that I have been sharing. uh, we also experienced some minor comments, say 3 comments. We thought that this paper is damn easy for us. We will be immediately addressing it within 10, 15 days or 7 days. We will be immediately addressing it. They have given us 2 months. Okay. And what happened? We added up one test system in the process, and we got the comments revised quickly and sent it to the journal. It happened that out of the two reviewers, one did not agree to the comments being addressed. So maybe at certain time they may think that we have not addressed what was his or her expectation. So this is another important thing that you may understand. We have also learned it from my part. We have also learned it at certain point of time. We had been not looking at the comments. We thought that this is a minor comment, and immediately we'll address it. And we have also added a test system, so nothing will go wrong, and it will be immediately be addressed. Another experience I'd like to share during my PhD work. It was almost at the submission. We had submitted our thesis work. There was some communication going on in some journal, and they had given 7 comments. And out of those 2 comments were really critical. So we tried to bypass those comments, saying that this is not the way that has to be done. I'll do it in my way, and I have tried to address those comments in such a way, cleverly, of course, that this is done. We received 2 comments. Next time, it was a second revision offered to us. We are fortunate enough, and they have specifically pointed out those 2 comments which we were taking very lightly. Now I understand. You have to do it. There is no way out. Otherwise, it will be an immediate rejection. So this also is also a learning curve for us. At certain point of time, we need to understand that each comment has a particular value. We must give value to each and every comment, however small it may be. There was some statistical analysis that they wanted, but we had tried to bypass that particular statistical analysis, and we had tried to cover up the things in such a way, I should say cleverly, so that the comment is as if addressed. But he wanted, he or she wanted a specific test to be conducted on it. So we had to literally develop the corresponding MATLAB code for that particular statistical analysis and try to make a comparison and show finally that why our method proved to be significantly different as compared to the other methods. And finally, we won. The paper got accepted, but still, it was supposed to be accepted within first revision, and that went for two revisions. Still, we were lucky that we were not getting rejection in the second command or the second section. So this is how you work upon, this is how you gather your experience, and that's why I am here to share with you some of my experiences. At the same time, how do we look at the paper? Say for example, we look at certain things initially. Say for example, whether it is grammatically correct or not, whether the work has been plagiarized or not. Although the editorial team do have a plagiarism software to address the comments to check the things are in place or not, but still, for our personal benefit, we also check at certain times whether the work has been plagiarized or not. So these type of checkings are initially there on the part of reviewer, by virtue of which you can also refer, if you can see, if it's a single-minded review that the reviewers are not known to the authors, but the author names are visible, you can always see the author profile and check that how much is the research profile, or how is the research profile, or what is the domain of expertise of that particular author as well. So you can go through the Scopus author search as well. You can go through the Web of Science ID as well. You can go through the ORCID profile as well. So these type of things are already there. You can check also the Google Scholar profile to check whether how renowned or to whom you are commenting. But your comments should be justified as well. When you are reviewing, your comments should be justified as well. So, of course, that's why I am here to discuss with you some of the experience that will help you to know about that how will you review a particular article, or how will you respond to the comments that have been put forward as a feedback, and always try to understand that it is for the benefit of your paper, increasing the quality of your work, that the reviewers are giving you some feedback. Don't think that they are criticizing you. They are critically reviewing your work, and they are trying to make the work reach a certain standard that meets the quality of the journal. Ma'am, can you move on to the next slide? So these type of things can yes, of course, this is another most important thing. You have to organize the work, you have to prioritize. Say there are 10-15 comments which are quite natural in a major revision. There are 5 or 7 comments which are there in a minor revision. So you try to check the significance of, try to understand each and every comment. That's why I told you at the beginning that try to understand each and every comment thoroughly. Go through the comments, spend 2 days on the comments, and have a note that what I need to write out for that comment, or what I need to, or how will I respond to that particular comment. Think over it. Don't write it. Think over it for 2 days, 3 days, 7 days even. Because normally, a journal usually allows you 1 month to 2 months time. You can take for an extension. Even I have taken one extension because the work was not completed. Right? So you can take the extension as well if you feel. So take your complete time to understand and prioritize. What do you mean by prioritize? Means what comments need to be quickly addressed, and what comments are very much critical, and whether any work has to be done on it, whether it's some simulation or some experimentation, has to be repeated, has to be carried out, has to be done, so that you are able to address those comments thoroughly. So try to organize grouping into categories. Say for example, you classify them that I need to make a figure, I need to add a table, I need to develop some code, I need to put some experimental analysis, I need to do some statistical work, right? Based on which you should prioritize, you should think that which comments are my major comments, which comments are really critical to get your paper through, and which comments are you can easily do it within a day or two. Some questions say, for example, you need a grammatical check, you need a punctuation check, you need to get your manuscripting verified by native speaking people, or likewise these type of commands can be done very easily. We have several softwares like Grammarly and all those things, which can be easily be relooked, and you can immediately have it go at it. So these type of things you need to understand, that go through the comments. It is my personal advice, go through the comments again and again, and try to address, try to understand the seriousness of each and every comment, and accordingly you develop the comments, you justify the comments, you respond to the comments, and after that you will try to get through. So ma'am, can you move on to the next slide? So these type of things you need to with experience we gather, with time you will definitely. And best thing that you learn is when you are reading someone else's work, when you are itself reviewing, when you are himself uh, reviewing the some reputed journal works. Definitely you can get to know others works, and of course you can also analyze your work. So respond point by point, because it is preferable that every reviewer has this tendency, every reviewer has this tendency to look into the comments they have sent, and how well you have responded to each and every comment. Sometimes the reviewers often use some complex sentences, or two or three sentences at a time. You can split it up, and as per the response that you prepare, you may split it up into two or three sentences and try to address those comments very well. And of course, preferable to use a tabular form to address the comments. On one side there will be comments from the reviewers, and on the other side there will be responses and supporting proofs, rather, for each and every comment. This makes also easier for the reviewers to follow, and follow your responses. And sometimes also you can put your question one and respond to that particular question, and go to question two, respond to that. Likewise also you can do it, but preferably if you are using a structured format, it is preferable for the reviewer to have a quick look at the reviewer comments and try to address each and every comment, and based on which the reviewer can immediately give a feedback to the editor. Next slide please, ma'am. So this is how you can organize, how you can respond, and it is preferable that you are addressing each and every reviewer comment separately. Don't mix and match. So that is often a problem with some of the young researchers, that they may feel that this reviewer has given a similar comment, so let us include all those comments together. No, this is not the way. You have to be very much professional in your approach. You must approach each and every reviewer comments satisfactorily, and you must answer their queries, their concerns, and how, where and how they are reflected. You may use some different colors, say for example green or red color for different reviewer responses in the manuscript, that these are the respective changes made for reviewer 1 to look into. These are the changes, this color I am showing for reviewer 2. This is how well you organize yourself, that will be more preferable. Be transparent. Absolutely. If you are not addressing any comment, if you have to give a detailed explanation about it. So if it is beyond the scope of the work, if you cannot perform that particular there was a reviewer comment in some one of my articles. They had asked me to share the MATLAB code. Okay, so they have asked to share. So of course, before the article gets published, we thought that we should not share the code, right? So we politely we could respond to that reviewer, or going for that we are not supposed to disclose it, as there are some connecting works to it, and that those are being considered in some article, or some other manuscript as well, so linked to some other manuscript. So this is way we try to bypass that, but never the reviewers never asked us twice. Be detailed. So provide each and every detail of the comments that you are having. So this will be, say first of all, you give an explanation that what you have carried out responding to the reviewer comment, particular or a specific comment, that you have developed a tabular form, you have showcased some results, you have put some graphical representations, or it may be that the novelty of the work has been included, literature has been updated, what are the references that are added. So give each and every detailing to the reviewer. The reviewer normally do not have a tendency to look into the entire paper and cross verify. He will make an assessment immediately from the responses that you give, mostly on most occasions, unless and until he wants a serious issue to be addressed, then he'll of course look into. Otherwise, the general comments, but you have to provide adequate detailing of the work that you are responding to. Say for example, they have asked you to expand the introduction, or they have asked to include in bullet points the contribution of your work, or they have referred to research articles that refer this research article, or refer this particular article, or cite this particular article in your work, and try to tell that what kind of method that you have developed that will overpower the existing literature. So this type of detailing your reviewer will ask, and based on which he or she will be able to make a decision, will come to a decision whether to provide another revision, or whether to accept that particular article. So transparency, by transparency we also mean it is that first of all you have to admit that whether this can be done or not, this is doable or not. Okay, another thing, that you must also demonstrate the commitment for improving your article, and this will help the reviewers understand the changes that are made. So of course you must commit that no, this is beyond the scope of our work, but we would like to take it forward, your comment, and try to prepare another research article or another manuscript where we can incorporate your suggestions. At the same time, you can also include, it's a very good technique to include that in your future scope of work as well. So these type of things that you must learn from the reviewer comments. Madam, next slide, please. So we are almost into detailing of comments be transparent, be polite to the reviewers. Uh, uh, just the previous slide, yes, please. Of course, we must provide the support of evidence, right? Whatever responses that we have prepared, it must be supported with some arguments. It must be provided on some literature basis. It must be provided with some additional data analysis that has been carried out, some references that has been included, some supporting evidence must be there. This will strengthen your response, and it will also demonstrate the expertise that you have in your domain of study. So this is another important concern, that whether you have been able to put adequate documentation or adequate evidences in support of the claims that you are making in the response file. Okay, so once you prepare the responses, you must be very much thorough about the evidences, whether you have added anything new, any additional data analysis that you have carried out, any literature update that you have made, any new references that you have added, whichever finer things that are there, you have to be very much minute, very much detailed, very much transparent, and at the same time provide adequate documentation for the evidences that you are providing. Unless and until you put it in the response file, they will not be able to get through it. Ma'am, can you move to the next slide? So this is how it works. You may think from the author's perspective, also you may think from the reviewer's perspective as well. Okay, so before being an author, you have to be reviewer first of all. Okay, so that you get to the latest trend of the work, latest topics that you may nurture, and then only you will be able to judge that what are the expectations when you are reading some unknown people's research work. What expectation that you are carrying? It is mostly the abstract and mostly the title of the work that you have read. You have no idea regarding the author and how they have developed that particular work. So this is another interesting thing which you must understand. You should have a very thorough knowledge about the topic. You should have enough detailing, so that we should expect minimum comments or minimum feedback from the reviewers. But at the same time, be not be too casual in answering or responding to the reviewers' comments. That some points may be critical, some points they may have asked, and they will cross verify as well. So these type of things, they keep happening. They keep uh, have these sort of things in there. Ma'am, next slide, please. So these are some of the fine tuning that you may require while you are preparing your manuscript for the next time. And of course, there will be comments. Comments will be there. Take the comments on a positive note. My If you take my suggestion, take all the comments on a positive note. Do not be critical to the reviewers. Do not be judgmental towards the reviewers that this cannot be so. Reply courteously, reply in a polite tone, reply in a tone that is professionally uh, uh, professional tone must be there, and you should address each and every comment, however small, however critical it is, and try to provide sufficient evidences, and try to provide enough detailing, and try to provide being transparent in the process. Even if the reviewer is telling you to cite his or her reference, don't be rude in replying that this is not relevant to my research. Okay, of course you try to handle in a politest tone that this is not particularly relevant to my research area or research domain, so that I will not be able to justify this particular article if it is cited in my manuscript. So likewise, you can make certain comments which will be courteous, which will be having a professional tone. At the same time, the reviewer do not feel that his or her comments have been rudely rejected. So this is how you have to work, you have to address, and you have to move on. Next slide, please. So I think all my participants, those who have been listening out there in the evening at different parts of the world, all have experienced such type of comments, such type of review of comments. Even they have been reviewing articles, and they have been getting through these type of comments time and again, and from the reviewers, from the feedback from the reviewers, and they are well experienced enough to address these comments seriously, professionally, not taking it as a positive way, a positive framework, that no, reviewer has not tried to destroy me, destroy my work. And often it happens. I'll tell you another example. We got rejection from an IEEE transaction of measurement and instrumentation, if I recall. And that particular manuscript, we had tried to incorporate all the review comments. There were probably three or four reviewer comments which were addressed, and we immediately submitted it to a different journal, and we got finally the acceptance from that next journal. So often they may be critical, they may be trying to address, make you address some of the things that were not there. Maybe we had lost track while writing it, while preparing the manuscript. We had lost track out of some important tricks, some important points that would have been a part of that particular review article, but it was rejected by IEEE transaction of instrumentation and measurement, and it got accepted in some other reputed journal as well. We received also the comments from that particular journal, but those comments were not so offensive, not so destructive, and not so critical, I should say, that we cannot address. At the same time, these type of learnings, these type of learnings must be there. There was a comment which would like to highlight, being mentioned by one anonymous reviewer. I should say anonymous reviewer because we don't know the names of those reviewers who has reviewed our manuscript. And there was a comment which was altogether different, because uh, we were developing some circuitry, and they wanted to analyze the how much components, or how what will be the uh, a number of components or something of that sort. So we had to prepare a separate table or separate thing addressing that particular comment, which was somehow not linked to the paper. But anyway, it satisfied the reviewer, and we got the acceptance. But sometimes we do feel that there was no need for that particular comment. But at the same time, you must understand that you have to satisfy your reviewers in order to get your article through in a particular reputed or esteemed peer reviewed journal. So this type of experience that we get time and again, and maybe some participants out here, they are also equally they participate in the review process, and they do write articles, and they try to address these type of things, all these type of things uh, themselves, and they are also well experienced in that. uh, can we move on to the next slide, please, so that we can conclude finally? And I think we are left with only three or four points likewise, and which we can quickly go through and summarize our work. And I'd expect that at certain point of time, you may be having some queries in your mind, and you may be asking some questions in between as well. So these type of things, sometimes you develop your learning curve from some review comments. Sometimes you review an article and get to know that these are the missing links of that particular paper, and so that these type of mistakes I should also not recur in our discussion. There was another research article which I published in some reputed journal later on, but initially we had submitted that particular article in scientific reports, that is published by Springer Nature. And Nature is, of course, you can well imagine the impact and the uh, reputation of the journal is had. But we also got rejection from that particular journal as well. And what was the most important thing, we received the reviewer comments within 1.5 months instead of normal peer reviewed journals. They respond within 3 to 4 months normally. So we received almost in 1.5 months. We received some review comments, and those comments were definitely uh, very much critical. They were really pointing at some issues or some concerns they were raising, and on the basis of which the article got rejected. So what we did immediately, we tried to sit down with our scholars and try to address each and every point, each and every comment. Why has it been written? We verified it through our research scholars and all, and we try to address each and every comment, and we try to find out, because we were thinking that scientific reports would have been the best possible way for that particular work, but immediately we cannot submit, so we have to think of a second journal which fits into the aim and scope of the work. So we chose a particular journal. I should not name that particular journal, of course, in this particular platform, but still, it was Wave of Science and SCI and Scopus Index journal. So we thought that we should give a try, and we finally received some positive comments, and we addressed few issues that were there from the reviewers, and we finally got that particular article to be accepted. Sometimes you have to be sometimes the reviewers are really harsh at you, but you have to understand that your work may not be having sufficient worth to be accepted at that particular stage, or for that particular reputed journal, or some comments that are there from the domain experts may not be able to qualify for that particular journal. So of course, they never lose heart, and of course, we too get rejections. We too get rejections after entering into this particular field of research for almost 10, 12 years now by that time. So we had been publishing, we will be publishing, and we'll be reviewing at the same time. But we also do feel that uh, we do feel that we are also learners, and unless and until we keep our learning curve moving, we cannot proceed. So this is the best way that you get different varieties. Say, for example, another example I'd like to quote, one of my UG students. He wrote a research article for the first time, right? So we waited for almost 6, 7 months. He was getting very impatient. Normally, I do not email the editor, but unfortunately, I had to do that time. And we were of the feel that if we disturb an editor in chief, or we disturb an associate editor, the possibility is that we may get a desk rejection. But fortunately for us, after waiting for 6 or 7 months, we, without comments, with some appreciation from the reviewers, from the appreciation from the associate editor and the editorial in chief, we got immediate acceptance. But that was almost without comments. So the learning curve of the student was missing. So what happened? Immediately, he sent another research article which he was preparing at that time, and that received almost 12 to 14 comments. So what happened? Immediate response was, he was really feeling that, what have I written? I have received so many comments. I have received so many comments. Was my write up not up to the mark, or was it not having the sufficient quality in it, so that we cannot publish it anymore, because he had not experienced any reviewer feedback from his first research article that he published. He was of the feel that how will I be able to publish that particular research article with some good number of comments. So finally he got to learn, and he got to know how to address the reviewer comments. We sat together. At that time, there was a COVID duration in between, we had to go for Zoom meeting. We had to go in for Google Meet and something of that sort, so that we try to address each and every comment. And what I did was I literally taught him how to address the reviewer comments. Okay, let him also learn, experience the particular fact. And from then on, after that, he published, I think, 3 or 4 research articles with me. And at that time, I left him completely up to him to address the reviewer comments at the initial stage, and then I'll further screen. So this is the learning curve. Unless and until you do practice writing the response of the reviewer comments, you will not be able to succeed. How to, and how we can get to that particular work. I think we have discussed a lot of examples today, a lot of issues related to review comments. Let me now try to summarize and expect some questions from the reviewers, from my reviewers or from my participants as well. So we had been telling from the beginning that you must write an attractive title. You must address the uh, abstract thoroughly, because it's the first benchmark that you need to clear from the editorial board as well as from the reviewer's point of view. Apart from that, we must be very much critical in addressing all our comments related to our work, and try to minimize any grammatical mistake or any punctuation mistake or something of that sort. Try to provide enough clarity to our figures so that we experience minimum reviewer comments. But reviewer comments will be an integral part of your research writing, or your article writing, or your manuscript writing. It will be a part and parcel of your life. You have to be very professional. You have to be very polite. You have to be very much courteous to the addressing to the reviewer comments. Be very much detailed, very much transparent, provide sufficient evidences as well as additions which are made. Specifically, if there are multiple reviewers, you must address it, and once you are reflecting or providing some evidence in the file, in the manuscript file, you must provide with different colors. This is another way of what we have learned. You may also use a highlighter if you are using latex. Otherwise, if you are using a simple Word file, you may highlight through different colors for the different reviewers or for the different types of responses as well. So this is what we needed to say about this particular topic. This topic won't take too long unless and until I share my personal experiences. We have learned a lot from the reviewer comments. We have experienced a lot from the reviewer comments. We have been reviewing a lot more articles every year, year by year, and this is the common points where the reviewers are really critical, and there are some points which the reviewers normally address or put forward in their comment section, and which you need to address. And you have to satisfy, at the bottom line, you have to satisfy your reviewers to get the initial acceptance from them. So sometimes there are unnecessary comments, but still you have to be very much courteous. You have to be very much polite. You have to be using a professional tone in order to address those comments. Sometimes it may be beyond your scope of work. Do reply politely so that the reviewer can understand that this is beyond your scope of work or something which is not possible for you to declare as well. So this is how it goes about. Enough from my side. I think I'll be getting some good amount of questions from the participants today, and then only your job, our job will be successful, or I'll be happy to answer all those issues. Thank you, IGP, once again to provide such an platform and uh, give us such a wonderful platform for us to deliver on a particular topic, and of course relevant to the theme of research. If we are proceeding in different fields of study, say humanities, social sciences, engineering, sciences, uh, if every discipline that you may think of. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir, for your wonderful presentation, which can impact our knowledge seeker surely. After your presentation, I hope our knowledge seeker can learn something new, which is their own intention. Learn and grow together, IGP knowledge seekers. Once again, thank you so much, sir, for your presentation. Now, sir, it's time for question answer session, which is one more valuable part of our regular events. Honorable sir, please stay with us. After a short video, we'll be back in our session part 2, which is our question answer part. Okay, sir?
Okay.
Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have webinar certification and online quiz competition. Hello, hello, sir.
Mhm. Yes, ma'am.
There is a first question from Tushi Monodatu. What are some effective strategies for responding to review comments in a constructive and professional manner?
I was literally expecting uh, be professional and be polite in your tone that you are responding that so and so work has been carried out and give adequate justification. Do not be humble at least to responding to the reviewer comments. This is equally important, and don't be too rude if some reviewer comments may give you an impression that it is not justified for your work. Do not be rude as well. So these are some of the common effective strategies that we normally have for uh, doing it in a constructive and professional manner. So this I do feel that you have to be really polite, you have to be humble, you have to uh, check out that you are an expert of that field or something of that sort. You can put every comment. You can give it you can have it a goal is be humble, be polite, not design an effective strategy for responding to review comments. We can give you some tips. Some of my experiences I have already shared during the webinar. At the same time, you must be looking at the slides. I think the slides can be shared with the participants as well, because this is how you get to learn. But mostly the learning curve is through experience. That is most important. You must be very much polite, very much humble, very much uh, delightful to address each and every comment in a professional way. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Once again, thank you so much, sir, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot from you with new topics. It will add some value to our day-to-day activity along with our academic and professional growth on our website. Hope to see you again with a new topic and new date. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Good evening once again.
Good evening, sir. Yeah, IGP knowledge seekers. Time for our quiz session. After a short video, we will start our quiz session. Please join our quiz session. Please follow my instruction carefully. www.eduigp.com. Please make sure your presence on our website. Then find a running session and get enrolled. Third, after watching or completing part 1, tick mark as complete. Move to the next, which is the learning test, which passing mark 80%. If pass, back to the course again to download your certificate. If fail, to retake the quiz. Download your certificate in PDF or GPG. After a short video, start our quiz session. So please everyone join in our quiz session. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, the code is evening. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, today quiz code is evening. Please go to the www.slido.com. Then you have to enter the code, and the code is evening. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please go to the www.slido.com. Then you have to enter the code, and the code is evening. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please join Slido. Then you have to enter the code, and the code is evening. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please join our quiz competition, and our quiz code is evening. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, today please join our quiz. Please, for, for joining our quiz competition, you have to go slido.com. Then you have to enter the code, and the code is global evening, and the course code is evening. Already 19 people joined with us. With 19 people, we are going to start our quiz competition. Our first question is, who is not the tips for responding to question? And the correct answer is option 2, response in length and talk to the questioner only. And 84% people are right. Then now we go for our second now question. Good tips for responding to friends going through a tough time include option 1, listen and be non-judgmental. Second option, ignore what they say and change the subject. Good tips for responding to friends going through a tough time include, is it option 1, listen and be non-judgmental, or second option is ignore what they say and change the subject. And the correct answer is option 1, listen and be non-judgmental, and 90% people are right. Then now you're going to the third question. Which of the following is not a tips for responding to guidance? Is it option 1, handle negative criticism politely? And second option is try to figure things out on your own. Which of the following is not a tips for responding to guidance? Option 1, handle negative criticism politely. And second option, try to figure things out on your own. Uh, and the correct answer is option to try to figure things out on your own. Then we go for our fourth now question. The 5 tips for responding to criticism include all of the following except option 1, roll with the punches. Second option, talk more loudly than your critics. And now then we can say our correct answer. And the correct answer is talk more loudly than your critics, and 79% people are right. The next question, what are 2 tips for accepting and responding to guidance? Is it option, don't ask for help, don't ask for advice, and second option, learn to handle negative criticism, accept advice and constructive critics. And the correct answer is learn to handle negative criticism, accept advice, and constructive criticisms. 100% people are right. Then now we go to our next question. What are tips for accepting and responding to help or advice? Is it option don't ask for help, don't ask for advice? And second option is learn to handle negative criticism, accept advice. And the correct answer is option two, learn to handle negative criticism, accept advice, and 100% will right. The next question is who is not the tips for responding to questions? Is it option listen and understand the question well? Second option is responsibly and talk to the questioner only. And the correct answer is responsibly and talk to the questioner only. Next, which of the following is not a tips for responding to guidance? Option one. Option one is handle negative criticism politely. Second option is try to figure things out on your own. And the correct answer is try to figure things out on your own. Then next question is what are the tips for accepting and responding to help or advice? Is it option don't ask for help and criticism politely, try to figure things out your own, learn to handle negative criticism, accept advice. And the correct answer is option 2, learn to handle negative criticism, accept advice. Next question. Some good tips for responding when friends are going through a tough time include option 1, put your headphone in and turn your music up very loud. Second option is listen, be non-judgmental and supportive, seek help if needed. And the correct answer is option 2, listen, be non-judgmental, supportive and seek help if needed. Congratulations, Alex Jaber Alvarez. He is our top one. Congratulations, our top 10 quiz competition winner. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result, and after that, we issue our online quiz competition and certificate on our website and official Facebook page. Our Facebook official page is Institute of Global Profession. At the end of our session, we can say properly feed your skills, never stop learning because life never stops teaching us. Be happy and stay safe. See you again and again. We want your participation in our every program. If you want to live a happy life, try to go, not the people or things Albert Einstein. Before I say or hit the end button, again wants to thank all IGP knowledge seekers for your active participation as always. See you in the next session. Till then, stay happy and blessed. Thank you.